Okay, the way we're going to be successful is we're going to have a simple strategy. Then we've got to have a practiced response. And then, as I already talked about, we need to have that heart in the right place. So here we go. All you have to do, reflect the message and the emotion. Okay, what does that mean? Well, reflect the message means say back to the person what they basically have said. And there are a couple different ways to do that, as I'll show you in a minute. And also reflect back the emotion that you are sensing with this person. Now, you may say, that doesn't feel right. Like if somebody's getting upset, I just want to calm them down. I don't want to go there. I don't want to deal with that. You actually become way more effective if you acknowledge what's really going on. In fact, there's research to suggest that if everyone will acknowledge the emotion that's present, the emotion, especially when it's a negative one, the emotion actually dissipates. There's research to back this up. So, for example, even if you're feeling really upset about something, if you simply journal about it or talk out loud about it or talk to a friend about it, you may often find you automatically feel better. So many people say, gee, I feel so much better just having talked your ear off and you didn't even say anything. And yeah, because research suggests there's something about just verbalizing the emotion that makes things better. So this is all research based. So that's it. Reflect the message and the emotion. Let's look at it one other way. I say, take time to be the mirror. Okay, so pretend this is a small mirror, okay? Imagine you're looking at yourself in the mirror, and I'm being the mirror because I'm holding it up. In that mirror, do you see anything about what I think? Do you see anything about whether I agree with you or disagree with you? Do you see anything about whether I approve of you or disapprove of you? No, you don't see anything to do with me. You only see yourself. And in fact, when we reflect, we're going to help them hear themselves too. So you're going to take time to be the mirror, if that helps to think of it that way. Now, there are two kinds of reflecting. The first one is this parroting. Everybody knows what a parrot does. It learns to say exactly what it's taught to say. And you can parrot back to other people. And you may say, that is ridiculous. That's going to offend people if I do that. Not so fast. I think you've probably done it many times in your life already and you don't even realize it. What would be an example? Well, you are already using parroting to verify complicated information. Take the example of getting directions from people. You repeat it back word for word to make sure you have it right. There's another situation, though, where parroting can come in really handy. And that is to invite elaboration, which means get people to say more. Here's a really common example. Somebody, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, somebody comes and says, I don't know, maybe I kind of have decided maybe I don't want to go out tonight after all. You can parrot back and you can say, oh, you're deciding you don't want to go after all? It kind of opens the door to them saying more. Yeah, I had a rough day at work today or whatever, So inviting elaboration is another useful application for parroting. Then the third one, which I momentarily flicked onto prematurely, is controlling your emotional response. So somebody comes at you, maybe even verbally attacks you, or just surprises you for some reason. Doesn't matter what the situation is, doesn't have to be conflict situation, but you're just taken aback, surprised in some way or whatever. And you can use parroting to buy yourself time to gather your thoughts, to kind of recuperate for a few seconds, let your brain kind of catch up and think, wait, what's going on here? What's happening? So it can be very useful for that reason as well. Like I said, in this tutorial, we really want to stress practice. And one of the ways that we build your skill up to the highest level that's going to come in so useful for you is we start out at very fundamental skill levels, and then we gradually increase the challenge level. And that's why I have started with parroting, because it is pretty easy to do. Not easy for everybody, depends on the situation, but it's easier than the next one that we'll cover. So that's why I start with that, because I want you to have success and I want to build your skills incrementally. Okay, so we're going to pursue this parroting and do some practice with that. And I'm just warning you ahead of time, this could seem, especially the very first exercise that you do, it could seem kind of Mickey Mouse. And that's okay. That's on purpose. Because like I said, we are building skills incrementally. And I'm trying to be really scientific about this. So I want to make sure that no one is left behind. Everybody's on the same page as far as skill level goes. So we're starting at a very fundamental level. And like I said, that first level, you may go, this is Mickey Mouse. Who would do this? Well, you wouldn't actually do the first exercise in real life, okay? It is only for the sake of skill development. Just like an Olympic athlete, when they're learning some complicated skill, they probably are going to start with just a partial movement and do that partial movement over and over and over. Say, for example, an Olympic ice skater. Maybe they only practice the takeoff for the jump first before they ever start worrying about how many revolutions and all that. So think of parroting maybe as kind of that takeoff. You're just practicing the takeoff part. Okay, so let's move on then, because this is trust me, this is going to get good. So your first practice opportunity will be with this parroting. And if you are in a room right now with other people, you will want to pair off with a partner, or if you're watching this by yourself, you will need to find someone later to practice this with. And that's why this tutorial is broken into multiple files so that you can move at your own pace with this. But what you're going to do in this first exercise or practice opportunity is you are going to work with a partner and take turns. And when it's your turn to talk, you will talk about one of these three topics. And I just picked these topics because everybody can talk about one of these, right? Favorite courses in high school? Why was it your favorite? Favorite hobby that you have now? Why is it your favorite? Or a favorite movie that you have, and why do you like it? I think anyone can talk about one of those. And so what you're going to do is you're going to give your partner just one sentence at a time, and then they are going to get to practice parroting back to you that one sentence, and then you'll say the next thing you want to say, and they'll parrot that back, and then you'll say the next sentence, and then they'll parrot that back. And if you are about to do this in a room full of people, I want someone there to time you, because you only have to do this for 30 seconds and then switch roles. And then your partner will have a 30-second time period as well. And if you're sitting and watching this at home alone, I just want you to, have some friend help you practice over lunch or whenever, over the phone, whenever you have a few minutes to have somebody help you. So those are the topics, but I never turn you loose until you've had a chance to see what it's like. So here we go.
My favorite course in high school was history.
Your favorite course in high school was history.
I liked that class because it was taught by my favorite coach.
You liked that class because it was taught by your favorite coach.
It was challenging but fun.
It was challenging but fun.
And we watched lots of interesting films.
And you watched lots of interesting films. Okay. See what I mean about it being kind of Mickey Mouse? Yeah, but we need to start at a certain level and then we're going to build up. And trust me, this gets way more challenging and requires way more skill by the time you're done with this tutorial. But this is where we start, and that's on purpose. So here, once again, are the topics that you're going to pick. You only pick one, remember? And remember, whoever's keeping track of time, each person only needs to do this for 30 seconds. So at this point, we will end the first file, and I will see you in module number 2.